Hello and happy today your way. I'm your host Chuck Beard, coming to you from the NECAT Network PEG studio right here in Music City, and this is Metro Arts, Forging Ahead. Every episode of this show brings together 3 Nashville artists who you may or may not already know from their various professional titles and roles around town. Within each lineup of featured artists, the categories of their day jobs vary. One is always someone who practices their art but also works at a local arts organization or arts-related nonprofit. The second artist is an independent professional, and the third artist is someone else who is also an employee within the Metro Nashville government. If you're a returning viewer, you already know we always feature an artist doing a live painting to capture the essence of what each episode becomes in real time. The canvas for the live painting is provided by Jerry's Artorama, and the other materials for the artwork are provided by Turnip Green Creative Reuse. All 10 paintings of the first season will be featured throughout the hallways of NECAT Network until the pop-up exhibit in December for the live season finale at the Forge, Nashville. Today's live painter is the one and only Heidi Schwartz, one of the best in town at what she does. Heidi is a live fine art painter who is known for capturing the essence of every event she works in real time. She basically travels around the world and captures beautiful moments onto what become beautiful canvases. She's regularly works corporate conferences, grand openings, sporting events, fundraiser galas, and weddings. And today she is on our TV show again. Heidi, we are honored to have you here. First of all, glad to have you back in the studio. And how are you feeling?
I'm great.
You're
Thank you for having me.
Turn over and you're just like really formal.
Right here.
So what have you been up to since you were last on this show?
Oh, painting, of course.
Yes.
And doing soaking up the summer.
Painting,
right.
Of course. There
Yes.
she is. She's very direct. In each show, I've given each live painter and panel of guests a general theme of the episode, an ice-breaking thought of sorts. Right now, the heat has pretty much melted all of us for the past month, and fall is my favorite season for so many reasons. Fall also reminds me of community on several levels. Kids are back in school, football is in the South is happening, and the promise of cooler weather, hopefully, is in the air. And I thought an interesting thing for today's show would be asking everyone else what you're excited about kicking off for this fall season. Heidi, knowing that fall is maybe not your cup of tea, what do you get excited about the fall? What are you finding joy in today?
Fall is not my favorite season.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry, all the pumpkin spice latte people. I do like bonfires.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that. I like
Yeah.
a good bonfire with some marshmallows.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it makes me sad.
That's
The
okay.
fall makes me sad.
It's a season. Summer's gone. It's okay.
It's just a season. I'm a real summer girl. So, yeah.
Painting in the summer, that's where she's been. So we'll see where she goes with it. Do you have any insight on where it's going to go, or just kind of going to listen to the conversation and let it
I'm
flow?
going to listen to the conversation, but I think I'm going to start, I think fall being the inspiration. I will include aspects of my least favorite season.
Okay. We expect fire, lots of heat over here. So the first guest I want to introduce is the artist who practices their art while spending a lot of their time also working with a local arts organization. Also, I feel like when you have a queen on a panel, I should introduce them first. The queen bee, I'm talking about the Elisheba Mrozik. Elisheba was a student at the Memphis College of Art, and now she is a master level teacher of pretty much all forms of art and business for Nashville in general. She started Queen Bee Inc. and One Drop back in 2011. She's an award-winning muralist and tattoo business owner, and she is also a founding member of the NNAC, the North Nashville Art Coalition. You might have seen her most recently at her mural Shining Bright at the Luby Community Center, but I'm convinced this queen paints in her sleep if she even sleeps. Elisheba, thank you for being here today. And I want to know, just right off the bat, what was the first painting or mural you did, and when you were inspired to pursue art professionally?
Hey, Chuck.
Hey.
How you doing, boo?
Hey.
Thank you for having me here, first of all. I'm glad I could come. But I can definitely say that I've been painting since I was very little, and my kindergarten art teacher told my mom she thought I had a little talent and I should take some classes. And so I've been just kind of immersed in painting and stuff ever since. Now, the first mural I did was probably in high school, where I got to paint a traditional Spanish dancer on the Spanish classroom wall in my high school. And then I did a few more murals throughout the school and my church, and just was kind of hooked on it. And I did them even when I moved here, and I think high school was when I really knew I was gonna definitely do art for a career, when my high school art teacher, Mr. Wilson, who was amazing and should have been in the MoMA, okay, but he was in Memphis City Schools teaching me, you know. So shout out to all the educators out there. Like, y'all do great work and you are so needed to inspire young people. So, but yeah, that was my thing. High school, I was like, I don't know if I can work a regular job forever.
Yeah, or you said I could do this and it's working, right? And you made it work. Speaking of, we'll talk a little bit about it later, but can you give us a little bit of heads up of, like, for those that may not know or already know, like how the North Nashville Art Coalition just briefly got started, or what impacts you with it?
So back in 2015, myself and about 6 or 7 other North Nashville creatives and just culture bearers were really kind of frustrated with not being able to get our art in shows that were being, you know, done here in Nashville, and kind of only being called on February and kind of cliche diverse times. And we really wanted a place to be able to show work, have shows, and have the narratives and the themes we wanted to produce. And so we just got together and talked to other business owners on Jefferson Street, myself, Garden Brunch, which unfortunately is gone, but they're in Memphis, y'all. And Woodcuts, shout out Mr. Nate Harris, Dion, Mrs. Harris. And we decided to just use our business spaces to host artists in the neighborhood, and it was awesome. And we had so many people coming. We did that from 2016 until 2020, and we supported so many artists, like artists who were in those shows, head shows at the Frist, have gone to have spaces in LA, have grown and gotten awards and grants and just all kind of things, and all from like a community-based kind of art space that was all volunteer run. Cool. So the North Nashville Arts Coalition exists to support artists to help them equitably thrive.
Awesome. Thanks, Queen. We'll get back on that in a minute. Our second artist is someone who also works at Metro. Before he jumped into the role of communications manager, this guy spent a lot of time creating public media with PBS and NPR. Specifically, he created and produced an amazing show that aired nationally with PBS called Lost River Sessions. He is the 8-time Ohio Valley Regional Emmy Award winner who takes just as much joy in mentoring emerging filmmakers and helping develop impactful digital content as awards for himself. I'm talking about my new teammate and friend, Darius Barati. Darius, thanks for being here tonight. And a quick question for you. What is the favorite part of the creative process for you with big projects? Coming up with the idea, creating everything in the middle, or finishing what you started?
I kind of thought about that because you know, you kind of talked about that question, and I can't come up with one, because each one of the processes I need, and then I also need to be able to leave it and do something else too. So to me, like the concept of when we did that show, we would take an artist, we'd find a venue that kind of felt natural to the artist, and we'd go out and record there. So that brainstorming session of listening to the artist and trying to get comfortable with their music, and then thinking about what really fits where you would envision this person performing. And then the actual being there. So we worked with film students. They were the pretty much the majority of our crew. But the being there, the everyone talking, everybody having a voice and a hand in what we're making the day of. That production was nice. But then that afterwards, when you get it on a computer and you're looking at it, and all the things you worked for, you're now seeing it, and it's actually coming together. You're cutting it together. But I needed all three. I couldn't sit in an office and edit all day. I would just die of nervousness if I was every day, you know, trying to go and light a new venue and do a new production. And then if I was just in that brainstorming phase and not actually creating and interacting with people, I wouldn't be able to exist. So I need all three. Couldn't pick a favorite. So
Cool.
Cop out answer.
Thanks, Darius. Finally, the third featured artist of the episode, a truly independent artist and star who stands out on and off the stage in a city filled with people shining bright. Another powerhouse artist with many layers. This person is the main artist, CEO, and artistic director of RR Productions, a phenomenal singer in every language she chooses. She is hands down the best and most authentic bilingual musician in town, for my 2 cents. And Rachel Rodriguez really is an enchanting front woman, blending her Latino heritage and the best of rock and roll in Music City. Rachel, thank you for being here. And I want to know, what was the first song that you felt like you were a singer and you claimed it?
I know, I thought about it. You got such great questions, Chuck. Make you like, I've been singing since I was 5, so I've been singing with my dad for a very long time. I would always perform at our local talent shows, even as a kindergartner, middle school, or at high school. But I think I got to this stage, I probably was in high school, maybe sophomore, junior, and singing "Wind Beneath My Wings," I think. Like I was on a little Bette Midler kick, because I did that song and "The Rose" were in my rotation at that time. And at that point, I really embraced letting go, learning how to just let go and sing and hit those notes. And getting feedback from people when they were finally saying, "Oh my gosh, you made me cry." And I'm like, "I did?" Like, wow. So I think at that point, I'm like, okay, this is good. This means I'm reaching people, I'm connecting people, and I think that's what music does, and art. It's an expressive way to connect with people, an artistic way to connect with people. And so I think at that point, when people were saying those things, I'm like, okay, I am a performer, I'm an artist. And it was always been a dream of mine to do, is to pursue music.
Do you still feel that way when you sing that one song?
You know what? I haven't sang it in a while, but as I was thinking about this, so I recently released some new music, and I got a comment from a person in my hometown. And she's like, "I love your music, I love your new song. I will always remember when you sang "The Rose" at the talent show." And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was a student, so I wasn't like a mature singer, and I was still searching for my voice. But at that point, I think I started getting a little bit more daring and trying to hit those big notes. And so that was, going back to that when she read that comment of "The Rose," and that she remembered that from high school.
I thought you were going to say Bette Midler commented, so
Oh, no.
we'll take it on the
No, that would be amazing.
Last and certainly never the least, someone who is larger than life and Nashville, my friend Willie Sims, aka Big Fella. Big Fella is the ultimate bridge builder dedicated to fostering art, community, and connexion. Big Fella is an entrepreneur, entertainer, and ambassador. He is a devoted husband and father, the ultimate friend and artist, always productive on several projects every day, and it's no different tonight. He is not here in person. I'm hoping we get to hear from him a few more times during the show. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll get to hear from these featured guests about the why behind what they do for work and art. We'll be right back.
Coffee Talk with Metro Arts is a monthly, sometimes bi-monthly, community gathering where artists, neighbors, and those looking to get involved in the Nashville art scene can connect and share their stories, learn about upcoming projects and opportunities, and meet the people creating exciting new art in Nashville, all while enjoying a nice cup of coffee. For more details, visit us on the web at metroartsnashville.com. Did you know Metro Arts and Nashville Public Library have a free lending library? Library card holders can choose from a selection of artworks by local Nashville artists and borrow for up to 3 months. The collection includes framed paintings, photographs, and mixed media. After 3 months, bring the artwork back and borrow a different piece. Available at Donaldson, East, Green Hills, Hermitage, Madison, Old Hickory, and Southeast branches of Nashville Public Library. For more information and to browse the collection online, please visit library.nashville.gov.
All right, welcome back to Metro Arts Forging Ahead. I'm your host again, Chuck Beard. If you're just now joining us, our guests today are Elisheba Mrozik, Darius Barati, Rachel Rodriguez, and Heidi Schwartz on the live painting. And wouldn't you know, I think we're getting a call from Big right now.
Thank you, Chucky Boo Boo. Look, first and foremost, I want to send a big shout out to everybody out there in the audience right now. I see y'all. Everybody at home watching, we appreciate it. And of course, we could not make this happen with our amazing, talented guests. So appreciate y'all for taking y'all time out doing this. So my first question is for you, Elisheba. Elisheba. You is just too dope. Okay, so my question for you is, I know you were you Nashville's first black tattoo artist? I think I heard that somewhere. So out of your amazing tattoos, the mural work, your paintings, your business acumen is the word. What do you enjoy the most? What out of all of those bring you the most joy and makes Elisheba tick?
Well, fella, you have known me for most of this craziness of career. But kind of like he said, I don't want to piggyback, but it's really hard to choose the most favorite. However, I can rank them a little bit, I think. I really, truly enjoy doing large scale, impactful, public facing art because art is what we have to change how our society thinks, right? Art is the culture. Artists make the culture. And we need to be able to create art that speaks to people in a way so we can have a society that is truly just and truly accommodating and inclusive. And the powers that be co-opt the voices of artists every day to have their culture pushed in order to be able to sell things and to make money. And I just am really passionate about making art that gets into a lot of people's heads every day, kind of reminding them of what community is, what we really should be looking at as important, and how we need to come together to move forward as one because we all have a purpose in being here. So that's kind of be my number one. I also love tattooing because I love the idea of somebody walking around and having collaborated with them on a piece because tattooing is a service art, right? It's a cultural, shamanic experience where you're allowing someone to put ink into your skin and put energy through that onto you. And so you have to collaborate with that person to give them something they can really live the rest of their life with. So.
I like to think of like the multi-sport athletes when you ask them the same thing of like, what's your favorite sport? It's like whatever's in season. When you say that answer, it makes me think of like whatever the season of need is for the people that you're serving, which is pretty cool. At least this is for you as well. Like, you do so many things at a high level for others and yourself. Can you take a minute and break down to us kind of what us normal humans, how you best stay somewhat sane and function throughout doing so much in so many different places with so many different people?
So I'm barely sane.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be clear. To be a tattooer means you're going to be a manic kind of person because you really have to kind of pay attention to the details and get down in there. But you know, I've made mistakes and I've hit walls, and trying to juggle a lot of things is really difficult. But I've found for myself that I work best when my why is right. And my why is that I want to always create and move with intention and integrity and inclusivity to be, you know, straightforward and honest in how I approach things and really do that platinum rule where I treat people the way they want to be treated as a human, you know, and giving that energy so that it comes back, you know, in a positive way. And I also really like, my biggest thing, I got rid of social media. Like, it was the game changer in allowing me to be able to focus on multiple projects at once and run the businesses and take care of my family. Shout out to Jared Dalton Agency, social media management. I invested in that, and my assistant Terry, who really helps the admin keep flowing so that I can find the jobs, do the jobs, and make it happen. And my artist assistant, Kamara, who just went to college, so proud of her. She has been in here painting these giant murals, you know, with me after school and learning along at the process, you know. And my husband, When I tell you, he is amazing, and he's helped me build everything. He's always there when I need him to support whatever I'm doing, and he figures out how to make it happen. I need to build this giant thing. All right, babe. How do we do this? Here's the drill, here's the support, so I can definitely say that I'm still learning how to rest, but,
Cool.
it's a process, I haven't hit the peak of what I'm trying to do, and so I know I've still got to climb a little more, and I'm building a foundation for rest and revolution while I'm creating in my own space.
Well, it's ironic that you say get an assistant. I don't have an assistant, but a good partner, and my partner in crime in this show is Big, and I think we're getting another message from Big. Are you here?
So this next question is for you, the lovely, amazing Rachel Rodriguez. Man, I hate that I'm not able to be there kicking it with y'all. I'm over here shooting this Hallmark movie. It's a Hallmark Christmas movie we shooting. So I wasn't able. I really wanted to come because I wanted to talk to you again. Rachel, I know we just kicked it last week, I believe, maybe 2 weeks ago. But my question for you is, your voice, right? Your voice is so dope that you can sing all different kinds of music. Like, last time I heard you, I could imagine you singing heavy soul music, R&B, gospel, whatever. But you were singing like traditional, classic, I don't even know what it's called. It ain't mariachi music, Mexican music. I don't know, it was super dope. What is another music outside of your traditional music that you enjoy singing the most?
Oh, that's a great question. I love all genres. I was blessed to be born into a very musical home. So I did, you were right. It was mariachi. I did do a song that you heard me sing. I did sing a classic mariachi song. And my latest single is a combination of country, folk, roots, Tejano, Tex-Mex, California country sounding music. But I also love rock and roll. I always say I have the heart of a rock and roller, trying to break barriers and be a rebel and be revolutionary, and I think that's kind of like the rock sense. But the whole reason I came to Nashville initially was to pursue country music. I grew up singing country music at home with my father, who I mentioned before is a singer. So I went from learning mariachi and Tejano music into learning country music. He kind of transitioned when he moved from Texas up to Michigan. There wasn't a whole lot of places in Michigan to play Tejano music and Mexican music. So he said, if you take the accordion out of Tejano music and put in an electric guitar, well, now we've got country music. So then he would blend in conjunto Tejano music with country music, and then at the time, a little bit of Eagles, a little bit of Bob Seger, so there was just this wonderful eclectic blend of music, and that's what I grew up with. But my heart, I love to sing country music, and that's what brought me to Nashville initially. But now I blend all of those genres together to create my own sound of all of those things that I've gathered along the way in my life.
That's awesome. You do it very well.
Thank you.
I'm similar to Elisheba. You are involved with so many different projects, groups, and important collective collections here in town, like naming the Theater Bug, Cremona Strings, AYA, Entrepreneur Latinas Leaders of America, WMBA, which is Women's Music Business Association, Mamas in Music. I can name several and keep going the list for several pages. But like, what does that kind of opportunity to relate to people and connect and create together mean to you?
Music is super important to me, but community means the world to me. My relationships, my friendships, lifting others, supporting other artists, supporting other women is super important to me. And those organizations bring a sense of belonging and a sense of support. And the Mamas in Music, since I became a mother, it's becoming a little bit more more women in the music industry are having families. But when I first moved here, I really didn't have any mamas that were friends, that were colleagues, you know, that they were touring, they were sessions. I mean, the music life really doesn't blend well a lot with being a mom, especially with babies. So I'm super excited, and really I'm in this part of my life now where I've got older children to support young artists and encouraged young women that are just starting their life. Like, don't give up, don't stop. They're gonna have hard days. Enjoy and surrender where you are with your children and your families. Those experiences are gonna fuel your creativity and your way of expressing, and it's just going to enhance your art. And your art will be there. You don't stop being an artist once you become a mother. So, and a lot of those organizations, the AYA, Entrepreneurs for Latina Leaders of America, that's super important too, as being a Latina myself, and entrepreneurs. And as artists, we are entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Awesome. We'll come right back. Thank you for sharing all of that. And once again, we're going to take a quick break from Metro Arts Forging Ahead, and we'll be right back.
The Forge Nashville mission is to give more people affordable access to the professional tools, space, and support they need to succeed as a maker and artist, and to provide new opportunities to youth and underserved communities. Welcoming beginners, passionate creators, and aspiring entrepreneurs, The Forge changes lives. The Forge has a place for everyone. Whether you're looking for a full table in a shop, a community co-working space, or just want to support Nashville's makers. To find out more, visit us online at theforgenashville.org. The Forge Nashville, meet your makers.
What's NECAT?
A place for anyone.
Sure, NECAT Network.
That's Nashville Education, Community, and Arts Television.
Everyone knows that.
But did they know that NECAT runs 3 television stations that serve counties all over Middle Tennessee?
We know that! But what a lot of people don't know is that NECAT is also an active community partner.
That's right. We're more than a television network. We love Nashville, and we love supporting as many organizations any way we can.
From Friends Life to Nashville Predators Foundation, NECAT provides studio access and training to help community organizations. So when you think of NECAT,
remember, we're way more than a television station.
We're Nashville.
Thank you, Predators!
All right, welcome back to Metro Arts Forging Ahead. I'm your host again, Chuck Beard, in conversation with a few Nashville artists who inspire me and many others in this city. Heidi, I haven't forgotten about you. Is the fire going? I can feel the heat from over here. What's going on? It's not a cold shoulder. What's going on?
Wow, the metaphors are great here, Chuck.
You can't take the dad out of the bad dad jokes.
Yeah. No, I've got to warm up the fall because it makes me sad. So, bonfires.
It's sad, but these people that are saying some gems that are like heartwarming and like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Amen. Yep, that's what's going on.
Awesome. I still see some space to be filled in. I don't know, when I look over again, it's going to be beautiful. Speaking of beautiful and big fella, are you there with us again? I feel like this is a seance.
So my first question is for you, Mr. Barati. So I see you do a lot of different video work. You do corporate stuff. I've seen some documentary stuff on there. Out of all the video things that you do, what is your favorite to do? Is it film? Is it documentaries? Is it corporate video? Do you like editing better than you like shooting? What part of this whole situation do you enjoy the most and gives you the most joy?
It's good. It's not corporate videos, I'll tell you that. It's not that.
Making a
you
list.
got to pay bills sometimes, and you got to promote things. And no, for me, the thing that got me the most into it was the visual element. I was always a visual person, so the camera, messing with the lens, messing with the depth of field. I liked, probably the most enjoyable stuff was the working with the musicians, because to me they were magicians. I played trumpet in middle school. I was 7th chair out of 7 trumpet players, so I was good.
Yeah.
So to me, music and that was just a gift. They were like superheroes to watch, and what y'all do. I mean, it's the same thing, the talent y'all have. So for me, it was, as a fan and as someone who looked at the musicians as these almost mythological heroes, I really enjoyed that. And it was good, too, because to me, that's a medium that you can enjoy. You can be driving, you can be in conversation with somebody, and it's the background. And I think a lot of my experiences with music on a personal level, it was something that I built relationships around. You know, that's something I remember bonding with my grandmother on some of her old records and tapes. And then same thing with my dad. You know, we have a lot of differences in our personalities, but that was one area where when we would listen to music we both liked, that it just changes the vibe. So I really enjoyed making probably the Lost River Sessions videos and doing a little bit of a love letter. A lot of the artists we got were from Nashville and from around where I grew up, and to be able to pay tribute to that in a show, and also try to break down a lot of the stereotypes. You know, we did a lot of folk, we did a lot of bluegrass, we did a lot of Americana, which can be so many things, even getting into rock. But a lot of the perceptions people had, particularly with bluegrass and folk, is that it's, you know, a couple of white guys up in a mountain playing this music, and nothing against those musicians, but that is not the complete history of where the instruments come from, how a lot of these traditional songs came to be. And so, yeah, it's neat to kind of hear. I hope movies like Sinners, I don't know if anybody saw that, but I hope that will kind of inspire people to start digging again back into the roots of the music that they're listening to now. Same way that Old Country or Old Brother Where Art Thou did for a lot of music too back then. So yeah, it was just neat to explore all of that. But the kind of messing with the artists and letting them do their thing, that was probably my favorite.
That's why I was like, when I first heard him pre-show that question, I was like, I bet he's going to say the people. So like, yeah, just the people that you get to work around. And speaking of that, we both shared time spent and a love for community, and more importantly, the few creatives in Bowling Green, Kentucky, my hometown, and you called it home for a while. So, you know, you grew up in Hendersonville area before calling Kentucky home, but what are some of the things, or even the people who are practicing art in that area just an hour drive north, but a world away, that you learned and appreciated the most while living there, that you don't see here, or similar differences, or whatever?
You know, I think, and this isn't a knock on either, I think it's a strength for both places, but with Bowling Green it was a lot of homegrown, and then with Nashville you get a melting pot, more so than I think at least in Bowling Green. And so the strength of that in Bowling Green is that you see people on a much more regular basis. You are 5 minutes from anybody or any place out there. You can be there in 5-10 minutes. And so there's that community bond, and just seeing someone who is a farmer and also a woodworker and also a musician, and you know, down the just all these different things that they're doing. Whereas in Nashville you get, and I think this is a strength, you get people coming from different places, you get all these different perspectives kind of mixed together, and so then you get all this culture. And it's neat hearing about the way things kind of blend together. So I do this, you do this, and now all of a sudden I'm taking these influences and putting it together and making things my own. And so I think it's two really beautiful ways to live, and I will consider both places homes to me, you know, growing up here and then really finding myself professionally and creatively there. I consider them both homes to me, and both really beautiful, amazing places.
Cool. No, and I know you said a little bit about Lost River Sessions. You can probably speak a little bit more, but after Lost River Sessions, and before you came in head first and heart first into Metro Arts, you spent time with a company called LifeWorks. So I just want to know a little bit more about that meaningful work, and then also how your role within that organization helped you become a better storyteller through the people that you met around there.
It was the most rewarding work. So I'll give a quick description of LifeWorks, but we basically worked with young adults around the ages of 21 to 30 who were on the autism spectrum, who were basically wanting to live independent lives, but just need a little help. So we had apartments there. They'll come live in an apartment, and we'll help them with everything from cooking your own meal. Let's work on a budget. Let's find employment. I would even use cameras and stuff to record. We'll do mock interviews, and then we'll watch it back and look at body language, things like that. I would go to the gym every day and show them how to just work out, take care of yourself, you know. That to me was a different shift. You know, we'd had a fellowship at PBS where I'd worked with students at Western who were diagnosed with ASD, and And that kind of got me into it. I started doing videos with the program there on campus, and then when I had a chance to do this, it was a different world for me, but nothing made me feel better as a human than to work with those individuals, to have to reframe how I communicate, how I perceive someone, and how I read how they're perceiving me. And to have to figure out how, okay, I'm not going to come in and they're not going to say, oh man, thank you so much, this was amazing, but I can learn how they're communicating gratitude or happiness and joy or frustration. So it really threw me off my comfort zone and threw me off, everything that I thought I knew about interacting with people. And I made friends there and relationships that I'll keep for life. And that's something, the neurodiverse community is one that I will always have at the forefront of my life now. I mean, they changed my life. So hats off to the work that they're still up there doing. And for anybody that works with those communities and is just trying to make sure we're all at the table and we're all included, I think it's powerful stuff.
Cool. And you, again, going to the Lost River sessions, could you tell a little bit about the genesis of how that came together? You mentioned about choosing musicians because it's definitely superheroes to you, but from idea to proof of concept, how did that come together? And what inspired you with that process?
Yeah, there was, I was lucky. There was an audio guy who was going to do a live album with a band out in Franklin, Kentucky, and he just wondered if PBS wanted to come out and shoot it, and I listened to the band and heard their music. They were very folky, and I loved it. Once we did it kind of like a pilot, thing, then the station was like, can you make more of these? And over time, they kind of trusted me more to really have a creative vision and pick the artists. And so we turned that into a concert series and a radio show and then the TV show itself. And it was a training ground. Our crew were film students from Western Kentucky University. And so that was part of what made that so fun and enjoyable for me, is it was a way to give back to them too, to teach them, here's how you run the cameras. Now you want to edit. And then we talk about, the Emmys I was lucky enough to win, but students were lucky enough. I had 5 students that were able to win Emmys for their work before they'd even finished college. They're entering the workforce and they already did something that was acknowledged on that level. So it was a love letter to a lot of different things. The community, the artists that I love. You had one on here, Kashana, who just, Kashana. She is, and she's just an amazing person. So it's not even just her music is great. It's her mission and who she is and how she uses what she's good at to share with other people and take care of people. But it was a wonderful gift, and I'm fortunate for the time I got to do it. But I'm excited about what we're going to do at Metro Arts.
Yeah. So. Well, quick one. Not a bookend to Lost River, but if you could pick one episode to tease out there that, hey, watch this. This is the essence. Not that it has to be your favorite, but just, do you remember one that was yeah?
Well, I already mentioned Kashana, so I'm gonna use this to throw in somebody else too now, so I can. But the Amethyst Kia, for anybody that's never heard of her, she's from East Tennessee. Absolutely incredible. She does old traditional music. She writes her own music, got nominated for a Grammy for a song, Black Myself, which she did with Our Native Daughters. She's incredible. So if you go and watch that, and a student had helped take lead on that one, produce that one, and I'm really proud of the work that student did. She's up in Detroit now doing great at a TV station up there. And so just all around, but that was one that I feel really good about, top to bottom. That'll be a good introduction to what we were working on back then.
Awesome. Well, you mentioned, I'm hearing several things like your 7th in the chair and the band, and then talking about youth getting Emmys and stuff. And I want to switch it back one quick minute for you, Rachel. Just speaking, I know you spoke about your father, but what's that been like, speaking of superheroes and the power of music, to put that love and then to be able to perform and stuff with your own children and have that important relationship? How's that been for you?
It just fills my heart with so much joy and love and pride. Love singing with my dad. He taught me everything I know about music. I grew up listening to him and his brother, my uncle, my tío Fernando. They had a band together, and so hearing them with the band and then hearing them just with the guitar and their voices and how their harmonies blended beautifully taught me how to learn how to sing harmonies, and taught me how to let go and sing with intent and purpose and connection. And I love when my dad comes to visit to Nashville or when I go to Michigan. We find any excuse. I'll find a gig so that I can sing with my dad. And now my daughter is also a singer-songwriter too, and singing with her is really special. She just recently had a quinceañera, and what she's wanting to learn in Spanish and learning to sing in Spanish and carry on our family tradition, of music. And so at her quinceañera, we all sang a song together. My dad played guitar and sang. I sang harmony to her lead. And I mean, I get all emotional just thinking about it. There I am, and my dad's to my left and my daughter's to my right. And it was just beautiful and a proud moment for me, and something that I know really meant a lot to my dad.
And when you say like get a gig anywhere, though, I mean, this is somebody like probably has her father and then daughter and like a blues brother, Steve Cropper, in the back or something like that. Like, this is just not, it's so Nashville/Rachel. So that's the kind of gigs that she'll throw together in like 2 days, which is great. We're going to take one more break before our final segment. Please stay tuned.
NECAT stands for Nashville Education Community Arts Television, and our mission is twofold: expose Middle Tennessee viewers to arts and education programming created both locally and around the world, and teach individuals and organizations who wish to make TV shows how to do so, let them use our equipment and resources, and then broadcast those shows for them. For more information on how to get started creating your own TV show with NECAT, visit us on the web at necatnetwork.org.
Suppose for just a moment you were Nashville's government. You have a bit of money and you want some to be spent. And keeping Nashville beautiful's a priority for you. You want to help your people out too. What would you do? You could start a Metro Arts. 15 citizens on a commission. Art is what they know. Them and 5 committees decide where the money goes. And dedicated staff to see that all the work gets done, making Nashville better for everyone. You could start a Metro Arts. Public art and grants would each play a part. Occasionally embroiled in scandal, but it's nothing you can't handle. You should start a Metro Arts.
We love you, Ellen. Welcome back to Metro Arts Forging Ahead. Again, I'm your host, Chuck Beard, and today we've had a big time learning from Elisheba, the Queen Bee Mrozik, Darius Barati, Rachel Rodriguez, and Heidi Schwartz. In the last segment, with everything going on in the world, well, actually, let me just drop that and go to Heidi. I feel some more heat over here, and I just want to know what is going on this canvas.
Well, fire. Yes, there's fire.
So are we burning it all down? What is are there metaphors or from the conversation, any love?
I just really went with the fall thing pretty hardcore. So then I was thinking, what are the pretty things about fall? And then I'm like, the orange, and then the contrast of like, a clear night sky. And so then, fire has a lot of orange and red, and we're just warming it up because I miss summer.
Yeah. We're clear. Yes. I love this.
Yeah, so we'll just this is just going to be an abstract, colorful piece. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Just fire and passion. I love it. Wait, speaking of big, can you help me out here?
So this final question is for everybody on the panel, all of y'all. Thank y'all for this amazing show, coming and spend this time with us. Tell me this. What is one thing that Nashville is missing, or that if it had more of, just one thing, that this one thing would make the most impact for you as an artist and for other creators?
I'm going to say, Heidi, what What are you thinking when he asks that question? What is Nashville missing right now other than fire on the streets?
Why do you do this to me? Every time. What is Nashville missing? Well, in terms of art and that kind of thing, I mean, I think visually, I think we need to grow our visual art community. Obviously, we're known as Music City, but anytime you have a creative pocket, I like to think, I moved here for music and I ended up becoming a painter. I feel like creativity is like a octopus. You have the head and it's creative, and then you have the arms, and it's whatever whatever arm you choose to become your outlet. But we're at the core, we're all creative, right? And so having this creative community, and there's a lot of access to, I think, potential that we're not utilizing. So visually, I think we could become we could embrace our visual arts culture more. I think we are on the front, especially with film. There's a lot more things that should be explored, I think, in Nashville, so that people don't just think just music. Obviously, world-class musicians are prominent here, and we love that and adore it and embrace it. But there's a lot more, too.
I would say that answer is fire. Maybe a year ago, the kids would have said it was lit, so that's why I went to you. Let's pass it over to Elisheba.
Thanks.
What would your answer be?
Well, I would agree with Heidi. It's fire. But for me, I really would love to see more art patrons who support radical and impactful art.
Oh, yeah.
And so we can start getting away from kind of the cliche decor and have artists being able to live and create work that is impactful. Other major kind of cities kind of have these patron communities who love to give an artist some thousands of dollars to have a season to just create, without having to make that art that we got to make to pay the bills as full-time professional creatives. And it really would allow more things to bloom and originality to blossom, right? And we give money to the things, the nostalgia and the things, as people, but if we can start really giving out that patron monies to all the types of artists here, it would be amazing.
Cool. Ladies first. Go ahead, Rachel. You're next.
I would like to see more culture downtown. I would like to see more cultural spaces, maybe more ethnic restaurants, more spaces for people to play music. I would love to have a great space where we're hearing, Latin music.
Original music?
Original music, yes, an original music, but other than a writer's night. We want to hear artists play their original music downtown. I just really think we're missing out on that, for sure, to fully represent what Nashville truly is. We have so many cultures represented here. We have so many different kinds of music represented here. And it's a songwriter's town. So yes, let's have that. And, as an artist, when you want to play your original music, you have to pay to play. I have to pay a production fee in order to play my own original. If I want to play at a venue and only do my music, first I have to pay a production fee. So I would love to see something like that. I would love Nashville to embrace all of that.
I was at an event recently with the singer there was, I think she had been featured on American Idol or something like that, and then she was like, I normally don't do this, but I'll sing an original song, and after she sang it, literally 5 people asked, why don't you sing it? And I think there was other issues with being an audience of millions and the rejection, but yeah, definitely I can see that and feel that of wanting to hear more original stuff. Darius, what's your take?
Well, my month of being back in Nashville, I'm obviously an expert on this, but no, for me, when a city grows as fast as Nashville does, and it takes in as many new people, and we talk about the great part of there being all these new perspectives and culture, but the one thing that I always get scared of when something grows so fast is that history gets lost, because I can tell you the Nashville I remember driving around as a kid in the 80s, 90s, even early 2000s, is gone. I mean, it's different. It's different, I'll say that. A lot of the places that I remember are just completely different places. And so anything that can be done to preserve the history, the stories, we have to move ahead. We have to keep being creative and form our own future and our own city that we live in. But anything that we can do to pay homage and keep those stories and those artists that came before alive and well, and the work we do, I think is very, very important.
Cool. I want to go back to what Elisheba said about adding the people with money coming in. I want to ask a question, a theoretical question for each of you is like, if money was not as much of an impact in doing it, what would be a project that you would make happen tomorrow or want to make happen tomorrow, whether it's you or other people that kind of that need that's not being filled? So, Elisheba, since you tug that, go ahead and go share with you.
The projects. I have so many.
Just one, one big one. If
Well,
money was
one
not an
big
issue.
one is I would love to work with every community in this city. I don't know how you would divide that up, but I would love to work with every community and the artists that live within those and do a collective project where we paint all of these ugly underpasses and highway walls and just retainer walls, and like they in the public space, they're just yuck. And I've been to places that have really beautiful whatever you call underpasses, and they're full of beautiful artwork. And it could be a community thing so that everybody has that ownership of that space, and they want to, bring other people out to just see how dope their neighborhood is, and they'll take care of it as well. So I would love to do that with every single one.
It's funny, speaking from Metro and everything, there's codes and restrictions on that, but it's funny how things can just happen when you either have money or people want it to happen. So
immediately, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. Rachel, what's a project that you would want to happen with?
You know how they have like the Real Housewives of, Atlanta or whatever? I would love there to be a show or a documentary of the real mama musicians of Nashville, and what it is to go behind the scenes and follow them through their day of diaper bags and daycare and carpools and trying to get ready for a show or negotiating pay on the phone while you're in the carpool line. And, when my kids were little and they're napping, and it would take me all day to get ready for a gig at night. And then you show up and then you're on stage and there you go. But then everybody has a different story and where they are, whether you have an infant, whether you have a high schooler and you're on just the crazy after school activities, and where do you find time to create? And you've got the alarms going off, you're at the studio, and I'm like, okay, I gotta wrap this up because I gotta go, it's my turn to pick up. I think that's important. I think it's, if we want to change the narrative of what an artist or a musician looks like in the music industry as a woman, I think that we need to expose those things and also encourage that you can have a family and you can still create. You can have a family, you can still pursue your dreams. That would be my dream project, is to celebrate those moms just keeping at it. And you're an artist and it's, and it's not easy. It's not easy.
Well, you don't have a lack of content or people that would be interested to fill those characters. But I will say, and I'll plug NECAT right now, that you take the production classes here, you can definitely get a TV show together with volunteers or fund that thing. So, not waiting for the lottery, but you can do your own version or at least a demo of sorts to pitch. So just plugging NECAT while we're sitting in the studio for PEG Studios. What about you, Darius?
I'll bring NECAT into this and say, I feel like that would be a good sitcom. If you could do, I know they see some interesting stuff. They put out some really interesting programming and cool programming, meet a lot of people. What if you could turn that into a sitcom, make a show out of that? That'd be fun. So I'm going to give it to NECAT for that one.
Yeah. Is there a project that, again, you just got back here, you're starting to get connected with the community again and stuff like that, but is there a project that you think from your story of living here, moving away, coming back, being around creatives in both spots that you have an inkling in or a rough draft in your head?
Oh, there's always, yeah. No, I even like the idea, there's so many, so if I take the music thing and the history there of wanting to mix, because you can go to so many little hole-in-the-wall spots, dive bars, and come with these artists or meet these artists that are amazing. You know, and I'm not talking about what Nashville is nationally known for, and then you can toss out any CMT thing or whatever. I'm talking about those genuine, authentic, just incredible artists. And you're like, well, I just came here to eat. I don't even know who this is, and they've ripped my heart out tonight. I always thought it would be neat to take, you know, different artists, mix them together, have them do covers in different styles. Like even hearing like the mariachi aspect of that, like having somebody who's a songwriter now has, you know, mariachi backing, or hearing their song in that form, and vice versa. And now we add a rhythm section to something. I just think there's a lot that can be played with, and anything that exalts the real roots of Nashville, and that part of to me, the music scene or the arts culture, I always am there for, versus, you know, how I think people perceive us that aren't from around here, you know, the tourist aspect of it.
Rhinestone.
It's good to have a piece, but not the whole pie. As that one
Making all of Nashville mad at me now, right? One
Right.
month into it, just desecrating everything.
I think I hear Big calling me. Big, are you here?
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Chuck. We did it again. We did it again. One more time. Appreciate all of y'all for rocking with us. All you amazing ass creative people. Everybody watching this. Y'all give it up for these amazing panelists. Give it up for them. All right. On behalf of NECAT, WXNA, Metro Arts, Nashville Public Library, The Forge, and Felavision, we want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of this. And thank you for being part of this community as we forge ahead. I'm Big Fella, and I'm out. Peace.
Heidi, one word. What do you got over here for the canvas? It can be hyphenated. What you got?
Trying to keep fall warm.
Trying to keep fall warm, y'all. That's about all the time we have today for this episode of Metro Arts Forging Ahead. Thanks to everyone on the show, everyone listening and watching the show, everyone at NECAT, Cameron, Eric, and more. Behind the camera, everyone smiling in the live audience. I see y'all. NECAT Network, the Nashville Public Library, Felavision, Metro Arts, the North Nashville Art Coalition, Creative Girls Rock, Songs for My Little Amigos, Jerry's Artorama, Turnip Green Creative Reuse, and you, the viewer. We are going to end every Metro Arts Forging Ahead episode this season with the final word, as it should be, from one of our featured artists. Before she does what she do, I certainly want to sincerely thank you for tuning in here today and for staying tuned for more great stuff soon. Handing the curtain call back to Rachel Rodriguez with her final words of the day. One last time, my name is Chuck Beard, and I hope you're feeling better about your Nashville world after listening to some of our creative friends and seeing how they are making Nashville and the world a more beautiful place. Rachel, please share your power.
We go through life constantly performing. Chuck, you just gave a performance. If you're a teacher, you're performing in front of a classroom. If you're giving your elevator pitch at a networking event, you are a performer. Obviously, if you're on stage, you are a performer. We have to remember that it's not so much about perfection, it is about connection. And when we go through life and we do our performances, maybe we flub up, maybe we mess up, but if your intent was good and you connected with somebody, that's what really matters, is that connection. And if I could sing just something. Amigos unidos, podemos cambiar el mundo. Amigos unidos, hermanos, hermanas, juntos. Which means together we can change the world, my friends.